What's up? So, I wanted to come on here really quickly and talk about a download that I had. And it's actually really appropriate for October and for the full moon. So, the download that I had is about being conscious of the content that goes into your brain. And so I actually had this download like a few weeks ago, but I thought about it today and it's really relevant, so I'm talking about it now. And so I was putting away groceries and I walked into the room and the news was on. And I never watched the news, but it was on. So the one little part that I saw or that I heard was basically whatever the details. Someone's just sitting on a bench and then someone else comes and attacks them, right? And so I walk into the room and the only part of the news that I hear is this part about this person being attacked. And I'm like, ah, and I leave the room and I'm like, wow, I never watch the news for a reason, okay? I don't watch the news because I don't need that shit in my brain, you know? Like, it's like, I don't need to know that somebody just minding their own business at a bus stop gets attacked by another person. That's just information I don't need in my brain. I don't need to be processing that information. And so the thing that I want to talk about, the connecting aspect of this, is about really like translating this to scary movies as well. And that's why it's appropriate for like October and the full moon and everything like that. Because, and this is a little like public service announcement. If you're somebody who loves watching scary movies and you want to watch a scary movie with somebody who doesn't like watching scary movies, just don't. Just go find somebody else who likes watching scary movies and who likes being scared. Don't subject that person to watching this scary movie when they don't want to watch it, okay? Just be with your people and watch the scary movie with the people that you like. So, going back to that. So the reason I don't watch scary movies is because I don't like being scared. I don't like, and that's like, this is like a whole nother story that eventually I'll get into. But for this live, I can't even actually remember the last time that I've watched a scary movie because I don't like opening my fridge or going into my garage or living my life in a regular way and feeling like, oh, I'm remembering that scene from the movie. And so this is exactly the point, is that when you have this content that's going into your brain, like you're watching scary movies, you're watching the news, and now this is the next part, you have negative thought patterns, right? So when you have all this content that's going into your brain and it's constantly being refreshed, right? So you're thinking about it, things in your environment are reminding you of it, and it's being processed, it's being acknowledged. And so every time you refresh that thought or refresh that idea by watching a scary movie, watching the news, or watching some event in your life that doesn't serve you, that you keep putting your attention towards, that really is just scaring you unnecessarily. And so the thing that was a really powerful connection for this is that when I think of a scary movie, like right now as I'm talking about this, I can't even tell you a scene or an event or anything from a scary movie. Like in my brain, it's absolutely empty. It doesn't even exist. But I bet you, if you're somebody who's watched a scary movie recently, and just the fact that I'm saying the word scary movie and talking about this subject, I bet you're having all these pathways in your brain wiring to the scene in that movie that was the most scary to you, and now you're constantly refreshing that idea, right? And so that's why it's really, really, really powerful. Like, I think we totally underestimate the true power of de-emphasizing thoughts, you know? Like, things are only present in our consciousness if we refresh them, if we update them. And so the less attention we give to these thought patterns, to these things that we don't want in our life, the less they're actually going to show up in our life. So I wanted to keep this short, and my timer just went off, so I am going to wrap it up. But think about that the next time you're constantly refreshing these negative thought patterns or these, expectations that you have of the people around you. If you just simply stopped watching the news or stopped watching these scary movies, you would actually forget about the details of them. And so that's what you have to do for these negative thought patterns. You have to stop thinking about them. You have to stop putting your attention towards them. And then you're going to forget the details of them. You're going to have different content in your brain. You're going to have new and lovely things to think about, because our brain can only handle so much information. So you have to be filling your brain with the information about the things that make you feel good, about the things that you want in your life. And the other stuff it'll just slide off, because your brain can't handle all that information. It can't keep it all. So something has to go. And if you're constantly putting in the good shit, naturally the other stuff has to fall away. So this was great, and I hope you have a wonderful full moon.